What has gone wrong for the Mumbai Indians? We all seem to have theories. Let's see if Akash Chopra and Dale Steyn have new ones to offer on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout. Well, this is do or die territory, you think, for the Mumbai Indians. But unlike previous seasons, Akash, I wonder if this season is different. The guys that get them runs in these past seasons don't seem to be getting them runs. Can they do something else about the Indian batters that are out of form? Can they look at other personnel or stick with what you know?
I won't mind actually just tweaking a little bit. So there are a couple of options that will present itself for the Mumbai Indians, and you just cannot have three, four, five, six all out of form together, because then you're repeating the same mistakes, expecting a different outcome, which is they're not at the stage currently. Their fortune is in their hands. You lose this one, and it's up to others how they play. So I'd actually give you two options. One, either you go in with Chris Lynn. Drop Milne, however unfortunate that might be, get in Dhaval Kulkarni for him, and make a way for Lane in place of, say, Ishan Kishan. That's option number one. The second could be just drop Ishan Kishan and play Saurabh Tiwari, because the guy who's looked like getting runs is Saurabh Tiwari. Of course, he's not the most celebrated. He's The other guys are actually the current India cricketers, and they are in the World Cup squad. But reputations or pedigrees, they sometimes count for little if everybody is failing together. So might as well go with someone who's actually got some runs in this tournament. And Saurabh Tiwari was their highest run scorer in the first game.
That's very interesting. That would mean Rohit, Quinton de Kock, and Chris Lynch. So yes, a little more up the top of the order. Dale, let me get your first thoughts. Would you look to make changes to the personnel?
Yeah, I definitely think they have to. They're in a position right now where the guys are just not scoring runs, especially that middle order of theirs. They're really struggling, and they need somebody to come in there and just do something different for them. Chris Lynn is amazing with the bats. You know what kind of a player he can be. He can get out first ball. He can get out first ball just like anybody else. But when he gets going, he can score you a ton of runs really quickly. But what they need is that they need something to happen in the middle order over there. It's just not happening for them right now. So a change is absolutely due for Mumbai Indians right now. Because if they don't, that's pretty much curtains for them this tournament.
Yeah, I mean the options that you present seem to be the only options that most people would go to. There's Saurabh Tiwari, who's featured already and got runs, and there's Chris Lynn, who has a reputation. But if they are to stick with this bunch of players, can they do anything to change it up in light of what they've been through? Could possibly Akash they consider Kyron Pollard much higher or Hardik Pandya at three? Just try and change it because Surya Kumar Yadav just seems out of form. So too Ishan Kishan. Would you recommend some sort of change internally with the same group if they don't go for the options you mentioned?
See, if you're not changing the personnel, at least change the way that they're playing, or at least don't put them together. So you need to split up Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav. Your 3 and 4 cannot be woefully out of form, because that's the engine room of a T20 innings. And if they're not going to score runs, just kiss your chances goodbye. So get somebody in. If you've got, say, Surya at 3, then get either Hardik Pandya, Kyron Pollard, whoever you think is capable of actually batting at 4, get him at 4. Then get Ishan Kishan slightly lower down the order. Might just free him up, because that's what we saw when he played for India in the T20s. So you got to do something. And this is now time, and this is a relatively easier opposition that they are facing. The bowling is not going to ask those many questions as, say, compared to what Mumbai did or Delhi would do. So these are the options that are available, and I'm expecting Mumbai to be actually ruthless. That's what they've been, right? There's very little emotional about this franchise. They are very methodical. So if you're not delivering the goods, make way for someone, or just split them apart and be very pragmatic.
I mean, yeah, you think three out of the last four games for the Mumbai Indians, Dale, are Punjab, Rajasthan, and Hyderabad. One being the Delhi Capital. So they played three of, you could say, the in-form teams now that we've seen what form they've brought into the second leg. So do you think this is a time, perhaps one more game, stick with these guys? And if so, would you be tempted to move things around? Maybe Pollard higher up?
I'd love to see Pollard higher up. I think when he plays for his Caribbean Premier League teams, when he's playing for the West Indies, he bats slightly higher, and he looks like the kind of guy that when he comes in originally, he wants to take his time and he wants to get going. So why not give him an opportunity? They are sitting in a position where they need to make a difference somehow. And Pollard, you can't keep relying on him to save you at the back end, because if he gets out, that's it. He's pretty much done. Get him in a little bit earlier. Give him an opportunity to get going. We've spoken about Hardik doing that. Why not let Pollard do it?
All right. So option one, find room for Chris Lynn and Saurabh Tiwari. Option two, find a way for these guys to bat differently. That's what we've got for the Mumbai Indians ahead of their game against Punjab. Thank you, Akash and Dale. This was Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout.
We call it people technology.